Unfortunately, its true purpose is something much more entertainers and celebrities by virtually every metric imaginable. This planet is in very good health. Apparently, saying that President Trump is doing a good job is grounds to boycott any industry associated with him. Goya found out the hard way that liberals are impossible to please. Me, I have never consumed this company's products, but now that I know that the liberals find it offensive, I may just do so anyway. Just like the Chick-fil-A boycott, people are flocking to buy the product, creating a boycott. Meanwhile, with calls for police to be defunded for unclear reasons, Ford employees are demanding that the company no longer make police cars. It is ironic. The same liberals that want to mandate every aspect of your life are the same ones that want to get rid of the police. CEO Jim Hackett responded to the letter with a memo that explained that police brutality had nothing whatsoever to do with their vehicles. Granted, this was obvious, but since liberals see imaginary racism around every corner, this has to be explained to them. When the protesters came to the home of Mark and Patricia McCloskey, the St. Louis couple was ready to defend their home. Maybe instead of using self-defense, they should have waited for the police, which the protesters also want to get rid of. Authorities confiscated the rifle in question, and this has created a debate on whether or not someone has the right to defend himself and his property. There is also a lot of silence about the fact that the rioters were actually armed as well. Either way, they are getting a lot of support. Even President Trump has weighed in on the matter and has given his support to the couple. Federal funds have been denied to Governor Walz and the state of Minnesota. The governor asked for the funds to rebuild the city after rioters decided to burn down the city and kill innocent civilians that got in the way. I would be surprised if any business stayed there. If a riot like this happened once, it can happen again, and businesses could stand to lose millions. I'm sure that the Minnesota National Guard or the police could have used tear gas to disperse the rioters. After all, if police can take back Seattle after CHOP was entrenched there, I'm sure that the rioters could be dealt with effectively. This is a warning to all Democratic governors. President Trump will not authorize aid when you fail to fix your own problem with domestic terrorists. Even if Minneapolis cannot get FEMA funds to rebuild their burned cities, the rioters are not finished. Now they are burning churches. Some even have parishioners inside. Granted, we should not be surprised. They tore down emancipation statues and statues of abolitionists. However, in large, the media has been silent on the topic. The number of incidents are far too numerous to list here, and more terrorists are no doubt getting ready for another round of attacks. The LA Teachers Union has refused to open schools unless charter schools are eliminated and the police are defunded. I do not know what the latter has to do with schools reopening, but I digress. However, I do know that the Teachers Union hates charter schools because their job is to keep teachers on the payroll even if the teacher is patently incompetent. Charter schools, on the other hand, have to compete and only keep the good teachers, and thus they perform better. Sensing a threat to their bottom line, the union decides to attack. While both Trump and DeVos are ordering schools to reopen, lest funding be taken away, private schools will have to act as well. Public schools will get the funding regardless of whether or not they open, but private and charter schools will not. Naturally, they are going to take precautions necessary to get the job done. Also, President Trump is trying to restrict funding to schools that act as political indoctrination centers. When I was in college, I only had 2 conservative professors. I am not sure if it is possible or legal to do so, but we should look into it. We are told that the China virus is the most dangerous threat to the health of the world ever. Yet, the United Nations has decided to hold up aid and relief for those affected by this virus over access to abortion. Even the language of the resolution could not get passed until the bill covered abortions as well. Translation: we need to save lives, but we will not save lives until we can end lives. Countless people are out of work because of this virus, and it is just plain ludicrous. I honestly do not see what the connection between the two is. The worst part is that countries like Yemen and Ecuador are dependent on the aid, but this would supersede the laws of these independent and sovereign nations. It is no secret that the China virus started in China, was covered up by China, and is being used to advance a CCP mentality. This is without mentioning how China covered up the actual virus numbers. Australia, along with 100 other countries and the EU, are calling for an independent investigation in regards to how this virus started. Just think about what we know because of ordinary journalists. There are even more secrets in the dark underbelly of this beast. Naturally, China placed an 80% tariff on Australian goods and has forbidden tourists from entering the country, but Australia and others are not backing down. If the virus is as bad as the fake news wants us to believe, then this investigation is of the utmost importance. Likewise, President Trump is taking decisive action via executive order. This will allow the administration to take action against the CCP for any and all human rights violations. We will see what will happen. If you took everyone's job over the flu, would you be shocked if people had to steal to survive? Of course, this is partially true, and AOC took to Twitter to say that violent crime was going up because people were trying to feed their families. However, this does not address the increase in violent crime. Yet, despite an uptick in violent crime with 15 shootings last Saturday and 44 killed over the 4th of July weekend, she and others want to defund the police. Yes, there are bad cops, but getting rid of law enforcement only means that there will be more people killed by thugs and criminals. Armelli was a therapist at Prodigal Ministries, where children that did not want to have homosexual feelings could try to overcome them. He had a sign up advertising his ministry, but the city of Cincinnati has a ban on conversion therapy. This is defined so broadly that it can describe anything. Even if a child wants these feelings to go away and actively seeks treatment on his own terms, this is still wrong. Yet, the opposite is celebrated. When Prince George was born, people responded by both hoping and praying that he would be gay. This is a huge inconsistency. This is not even the worst part. Apparently, he was fired as an adjunct professor at NKU. The war for the hearts, minds, and souls of the next generation is going to continue to rage. It is no secret that Twitter has been controlling the platform to artificially control the conversation. I am surprised that they did not try to cover up Biden quoting Mao Zedong in a speech. Moving on, aside from the lies of Dorsey in front of Congress, multiple insiders have come forward about shadow bans and blacklisting. We now have even more confirmation that the tech giant is acting as a publisher and not a platform. The irony is both hilarious and sickening. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion.